Today, we are going to create an entire development infrastructure with a dev test live environment. The only requirement to follow along is to create an account on Pantheon. Once you have your user account created, you will log in and see your user dashboard. Click the Create New Site link. Now let's give the site a name, something short and unique. Let's say our company makes marbles, so to differentiate from some other web property we have, let's call it Marbles Marketing. Next, we have to choose our start state. WordPress, Drupal, or maybe even your own custom distribution with your own set of plugins or modules. For now, let's go with WordPress. I click and off it goes. A point I want to make while this is spinning up, you aren't just choosing some tarball we're going to build your site from. You're pulling in the latest version from the upstream WordPress or Drupal repository, as well as our own upstream repo. So when major or minor updates are available for your CMS, or we push optimizations at Pantheon, it's just a matter of pulling in those changes to your site with a simple command. Hey, we're done. So let's go look at our new website's development environments dashboard. Let's finish the install process by clicking on the Visit Development Site link on the site dashboard. There it is, vanilla WordPress in all its glory. Now let's do the same for Test and Live. Remember, these environments are completely discrete sites with their own database and application servers. The environments are connected to each other via version control and workflows to move the database and files between them. The whole point is to give you an environment to try stuff in dev, then merge your dev code and live content together in test. Then you can push your tested code to live. Think of this as your runway from development to production. So there we have it, pretty quick, right? We have a live site plus an entire development infrastructure. Now these marbles aren't selling themselves, so let's get busy and build our site. Pantheon has a guided path for migrating sites onto our platform. This method gets most sites on board. Let's click on the Migrate Existing Site button to start the process. We give our new destination site on Pantheon a name, and we install and activate the migration plugin on our legacy site as instructed. It takes a few minutes as it migrates code, database, and files, but then it's done. That's it, migrated. We give you a guided path for most sites. If you can't get your site on the platform, let us know so we can help you.
To use our developer tools and best practice workflows, you need to understand our command line tools, on-server development, local development, and Git. Command line tools allow you to work more effectively and script repetitive or monotonous workflows. We provide a command line interface that we call Terminus. With Terminus, you can do anything you'd normally do in the Pantheon dashboard, only from the convenience of your command line. Other command line tools, like Drush for Drupal and WP CLI for WordPress, enable you to interact with a website directly. On-server development is great when you need to make quick edits to custom code or update the modules, plugins, or themes on your website. Every Pantheon environment can be accessed via SFTP. Connection info is listed on the dashboard. Nothing beats the convenience of working in your own local development environment when you're writing custom code. We recommend the open source local development app Calabox, which comes pre-installed with Terminus, Drush, WP CLI, and other tools. With just a click, you can sync your local with any Pantheon environment. Our entire workflow is based on the Git version control system. You can clone your Git repository locally to gain even more control over your workflow or debug problems. Learn more about these topics and developing on our platform by exploring the resources on this page.
You can interact with Pantheon using our command line interface, Terminus. In doing so, you can work faster and more efficiently, automate repetitive tasks, and access additional functionality. Use Terminus to interact with the Pantheon dashboard. For example, clear caches by running terminus env:\clear cache, which is the clear cache command, followed by the site name and environment, which in this case is robots.dev. List pending core updates by running terminus upstream updates list, followed by the site name and environment, then apply them by running terminus upstream updates apply. and deploy changes between dev, test, and live environments. I'll do this by running Terminus env deploy, syncing the content from live down to test, and clearing the cache. Then when I'm ready to deploy to live, I run env deploy again, clearing the cache and choosing the live environment. If it can be accomplished in the Pantheon dashboard, it can probably be accomplished with Terminus. You can also execute Drupal or WordPress-specific commands using drush or WP CLI. For example, the command terminus drush, followed by the site name and environment, then user create and 2 hyphens, new user 1 with the email address of the user, can be used to create a new Drupal user. Update WordPress plugins by running terminus WP, the site name and environment followed by 2 hyphens, then plugin, update, and then _all to update all. Terminus also makes it easy to automate tasks. In this example, we've scripted a set of Terminus commands to identify, install, and test WordPress updates. If the tests pass, as they do here, our script pushes the WordPress updates to our live environment. You can write scripts in Terminus to automate numerous other tasks for both WordPress and Drupal. You can find this script by going to pantheon.io and searching for automating security updates. Terminus can help you access extra data and functionality that isn't available in the Pantheon dashboard. For example, we can run the command terminus workflow watch to stream workflow data on the DrushMe site. In this example, I'm switching the connection mode from SFTP to Git, and now I'm running a backup from the dashboard. You can also add commands to Terminus by installing plugins. Official Pantheon plugins can be downloaded from our website, or you can write your own. That was a quick introduction to our command line tool, Terminus. Use it to script repetitive tasks, or just use it to develop faster without touching your mouse.
Drush is a command line shell for running and scripting Drupal tasks. Let's install it and explore some commands. Drush can be installed locally in various ways. You can find instructions at drush.org. Just be sure to use the version that corresponds to your Drupal installation and operating system. If you install Pantheon's command line tool, Terminus, you can run Drush commands from your local environment as well as Pantheon-specific commands. I'll be using Terminus in this video. If you don't already have a local environment configured, try installing Calabox. It comes pre-installed with Terminus and Drush. Let's view all the enabled modules on my Drupal 8 site by running terminus drush, followed by the site name and the environment, in this case, the dev environment of the DrushMe site, then 2 dashes to let Terminus know the following are all Drush parameters, not Terminus parameters. I just want to see the modules that are enabled and not part of core, so I use the appropriate flags. Now let's add the library's API module. Running terminus drush, with the site and environment again, then en, which is short for drush enable. With the -y flag, we'll attempt to enable the libraries module, but it doesn't exist, so drush installs the module. Note that code is being downloaded to our dev environment here, so we're in SFTP mode. Next, let's check for updates by running terminus site and environment, then pm update status. We see here there are some updates available. So, we put the site into maintenance mode by running the sset command and changing the system.maintenance mode value to 1. Now we run pm update. This will download and apply all the updates, as well as update the database if necessary. Done. We are up to date. We can turn off maintenance mode by setting the previous system value to 0. If we need to, we can run drush cr to clear cache. This was a quick introduction to Drush, the command line shell for running and scripting Drupal tasks. WP CLI is a set of command line tools for managing WordPress installations. Let's install it and explore some commands. WP CLI can be installed locally in various ways. You can find instructions at wp-cli.org. If you install Pantheon's command line tool Terminus, you can run WP CLI commands from your local computer on your Pantheon sites. I'll be using Terminus in this video. If you don't already have a local environment configured, try installing Calabox. It comes pre-installed with Terminus and WP CLI.
Let's view the plugins on my WordPress site by running Terminus WP, followed by migrationexample.dev, which is my site name and environment, concatenated with a period, then the actual WP CLI command plugin list. Note that there are two plugins, Akismet and Jetpack, which have updates available. I will update these plugins with a single command. I begin as usual, Terminus WP migrationexample.dev, then --plugin update --all. I added those first two hyphens after the environment argument to make sure Terminus knows that everything afterwards is a WP CLI command. Since code is being downloaded to your dev server here, make sure you're in SFTP mode. Once updated, I could run automated tests, form user acceptance testing, then push to live. With WP CLI, I can also install plugins and themes. Here I'll download and activate the Vertex theme in one command. As usual, I run Terminus WP, my environment name, then the WP CLI command, theme install Vertex, and then the activate flag. Almost all user functions available in the WordPress dashboard are available in WP CLI. For example, we can reset a user password by typing WP user update with the user login, user email, or user ID of the user to update, then pass the flag user_pass with the new password value. Another useful command is WP search replace. It searches the database for a string and replaces it for another. It's often used to change URLs between different environments. WP CLI also makes it easy to create WordPress plugins. Usually this requires some pretty rote procedures. Now we can simply run Terminus WP scaffold plugin and generate the default structure for my new plugin called CRM app. Now I can see the directories, files, and even tests that are stubbed out for me. This saves time and reduces the possibility for user error. This was a quick introduction to WP CLI, the command line interface for WordPress. Please explore our technical documentation for more information about using and extending this tool's functionality. Going live should not be stressful. Designers, project managers, developers, architects, everyone plays a role, and so does your infrastructure. The tools we offer ensure that going live is a solid, repeatable process in which you're continuously deploying, and our platform is configured with performance and best practices in mind. Every site's dev, test, live, and multi-dev environments are all connected. You're working on a duplicate single instance of your live infrastructure, so you're really working with dev prod parity. This means that even if your live environment has multiple app servers for horizontal scaling, you can easily and dependably test, first on the default site URL we provide, then add your real domain and point DNS only when you feel your code is ready for live traffic. All incoming traffic is routed to our highly available edge layer. So after you point DNS at the values we provide in the dashboard for each domain or subdomain, traffic is routed through the caching layer and then to your application. Content is rendered and sent back to the user. Based on your application's traffic and required resources, you can choose any monthly subscription plan. The larger plans offer more concurrency, and our Elite plan allows for even more horizontal scaling, as well as an onboarding manager to help optimize the application and allocate appropriate resources. If you're new to the platform and its components, that's okay. Documentation and support are here to help you get up to speed. It won't take long, and the performance and security are worth the time.
Pantheon's container-based platform runs an integrated set of tools across a distributed and redundant infrastructure. This architecture provides everything needed to build, launch, and manage websites that achieve unmatched performance and reliability. The platform is comprised of 3 layers, which include Pantheon's Global Edge, our Runtime Matrix, and application containers. Pantheon's Global Edge is the exterior layer of the platform, meaning it's the first point of contact for traffic. The edge layer has a built-in HTTP accelerator that serves cache data from virtual memory, allowing responses to be returned without going through the application containers. This keeps resource consumption low so dynamic requests can be generated with ease during traffic spikes. If cache content is not found, the edge layer will automatically load balance and route the request to the next layer of the platform, our Runtime Matrix. On its way back out, the response will be cached for optimal performance. The Runtime Matrix is where Nginx and PHP workers are fired off in millions of isolated Linux containers. Our robots do all the work by provisioning at the speed of software and at the click of a button, allowing you to go from hundreds of page views to hundreds of millions without downtime or architectural changes.
Pantheon's Runtime Matrix can also detect failures in the event that an application container is unresponsive or unhealthy, then automatically reroute traffic to a failover container. Every environment runs on its own container, which are connected by version control. Let's take a look at the services running on those containers. Similar to our Runtime Matrix, our database service is based on a grid model and facilitates horizontal scalability using replication topology. This allows you to spread requests across multiple databases to improve site performance and load times. Pantheon's cloud-based file system, Valhalla, runs multiple layers of caching and is designed to stay in sync as you work and scale. Files are replicated for high availability. Redis is provided for sites with the need for a persistent object cache backend. Pantheon manages Solr services to provide full text search at incredible speeds with zero overhead required. This architecture provides everything needed to build, launch, and manage websites that achieve unmatched performance and reliability. Here at Pantheon, we know that modern web development teams often want to extend their normal workflows with all kinds of integrations and automation. Pantheon provides a solid framework for your code changes that can flow upward through dev, test, and live environments, and content changes to be cloned back down from the live environment. While these steps are typically all controlled through the Pantheon dashboard, each step in the workflow can also be initiated by our command line tool, Terminus. You might, for instance, use Terminus in a script that resets your local development environment by downloading database backups. Or you might use Terminus to create new multi-dev environments for each pull request made to an external Git repository of your site's code. Terminus is a great tool to let external systems talk to and control your Pantheon sites. Sometimes you want to have Pantheon talk back to external systems. That's when you need Quicksilver platform hooks. For example, with Quicksilver, you can write scripts that notify Slack channels that code has been pushed. Or perhaps you want to alert New Relic of deployments being made in the test and live environments. Pantheon scripts are controlled from the pantheon.yaml file. Another great example is if you want to enable development modules every time a database is copied from the live environment, just copy the code you need from our example repository into your YAML file. In this example, once the script is pushed to your Pantheon site, each database clone will result in the script being run and development modules being turned on. You can write scripts that fire when databases are cloned, caches are cleared, deployments are made, code commits are made in dev, or when multi-dev environments are created. The Pantheon YAML file is also where you can set configuration options like PHP version, protected file paths, Drush versions, and whether you want your web document root to be one folder deeper in your Git repository. With Terminus and Quicksilver, you can connect to all the services and tools that your development team relies on to build amazing sites.
Pantheon's architecture allows for unprecedented performance and scaling, while New Relic lets you take performance testing to a whole new level. Thanks to our elastic infrastructure, your website will be faster and more reliable on Pantheon than other legacy solutions. No matter what size your sites are, you'll always be ready to scale. Our architecture provides everything a high-profile site needs to scale, including load balancing, supercharged databases, and advanced caching like Varnish and Object Cache. Expecting a surge in traffic? When you change plan level, new resources are allocated in minutes. Every environment has free access to New Relic APM Pro. You can use New Relic to identify, diagnose, and track performance metrics for your site with incredible detail. As you can see, Pantheon's architecture is designed with performance and scale in mind. We provide the right tools to help you get the best performance for any website.
Caching is an important technique to utilize when developing a CMS application. Let's look at what the platform offers in terms of front-end and back-end caching. Front-end reverse proxy caching is the best practice way to serve commonly requested pages. By serving pages from memory, a response is returned without needing to access either a PHP application server or a database server. This allows pages to be delivered extremely quickly and at scale. On Pantheon, every HTTP request goes through the load balancer to a pool of Varnish servers. If a page is found in the cache, it will be immediately returned to the browser.
If not, the request will seamlessly continue to the Runtime Matrix, and the response will be cached on the way back out to the browser. Most website frameworks use the database to cache internal application objects that take significant time to generate. It's also taxing to keep cached page content at this layer. Pantheon provides key-value-based Redis for backend caching, taking that workload off the database. This is vital for scaling to a larger number of logged-in users. It also provides a number of other great features to manage queues or do custom caching of your own design. Pantheon automatically gives you the best practice of front-end page caching via Varnish, and for all applications with frequent database calls, Pantheon offers Redis as a ready-to-go option for the best possible performance and scale.
Let's take a moment to look at your Pantheon for Agencies dashboard. We'll review how to manage all your sites, team members, view service requests, and interact with support, and where to get info and resources for clients. We've just logged into Pantheon, so let's go to our Organizations tab and then select our agency. The first tab we'll see are our sites. All the sites are listed, of course, but they're filterable by service level, custom tags, upstream, or if they're in need of core updates. I could spin up new sites, I could migrate existing sites onto Pantheon from external sources, and then I could bulk manage tags, add or remove team members, and then run other operations such as deleting sites or exporting them as a CSV. Next, I switch to the People tab, and that'll give me a list of my team members. Based on my role, I can add or remove team members and assign them a role. Roles are an easy way to determine who has the ability to deploy to the live environment and delete sites as well as other functions. By using different roles, you can, for example, quickly and safely bring on a new team member, external or client-side resource, and they can work freely in dev, but a more senior member will later deploy their changes to live. Here's a quick and easy grid which shows what each role can do. We also allow you to create upstreams, which can act as a base install state with your preferred modules, plugins, or base theme. Code updates pushed to your upstream can easily be rolled out to all downstream sites, and they're a perfect way for agencies with verticals they target to reduce duplicate work across all their sites. All of the support requests for the organization are aggregated under the single support view. You may have multiple ways of interacting with support via tickets, chat, or emergency paging. We've also compiled some great information for agencies under the Partner tab. This section contains a link to the Partner portal where we've collected client-facing materials, case studies, and other great information for your agency. This has been an overview of the Pantheon for Agencies dashboard where you can interact with all the sites in a more robust way, as well as manage your users, role, and communicate better with support as a whole team. Let's discuss how to identify and resolve website issues on Pantheon and how to get support when you need help. When we at Pantheon encounter issues we haven't seen, we use a follow-the-request framework that is helpful in understanding the problem. We recommend you do this too. This framework is simple. It follows the typical path of the web request from the client to the application and back. It's helpful because any issue, such as a site being down, could be with the user's firewall blocking inbound traffic, the domain name may be expired, a database server might be down, or it could be the application, as in a misconfigured route to the home page. Stepping through the signal path in a methodical process can save hours looking in the wrong place. If it is infrastructure related, especially if it suddenly appears, it will often be affecting many users on the platform, so our logging alerts us and we post something on our status page to let you know we're working on it. So be sure to subscribe to status.pantheon.io. If your site is having infrastructure-related issues and you don't have a status alert, it's likely something to do with the code not interacting well with one or more platform components. It's good to consider if the issue occurrence correlates to any recent changes in traffic or code. Also, we find that most issues eventually can be replicated, and once replicated, can be understood and fixed easily in the dev environment. A quick tip is to copy live down to dev, then switch to SFTP mode. By using typical tools like vardump, it should be pretty easy to see what's going on by following variables and resolving the issue. Then the fix can be deployed immediately to live. Other super helpful tools in the debugging process are New Relic Pro, which comes free with every site, your server logs, which you can access via SFTP, and your MySQL command line access, which you can use to look at blocking queries. And remember, if you can't resolve it yourself, maybe we can point you in the right direction. Head to the support button on your dashboard and talk to an engineer.
This has been a quick overview of how to resolve issues on the platform. In addition to running the infrastructure, we are here to help you succeed. Let's take a moment to look at your Pantheon for Agencies dashboard. We'll review how to manage all your sites, team members, view service requests, and interact with support, and where to get info and resources for clients. We've just logged into Pantheon, so let's go to our Organizations tab and then select our agency. The first tab we'll see are our sites. All the sites are listed, of course, but they're filterable by service level, custom tags, upstream, or if they're in need of core updates. I could spin up new sites, I could migrate existing sites onto Pantheon from external sources, and then I could bulk manage tags, add or remove team members, and then run other operations such as deleting sites or exporting them as a CSV. Next, I switch to the People tab, and that'll give me a list of my team members. Based on my role, I can add or remove team members and assign them a role. Roles are an easy way to determine who has the ability to deploy to the live environment and delete sites as well as other functions. By using different roles, you can, for example, quickly and safely bring on a new team member, external or client-side resource, and they can work freely in dev, but a more senior member will later deploy their changes to live. Here's a quick and easy grid which shows what each role can do. We also allow you to create upstreams, which can act as a base install state with your preferred modules, plugins, or base theme. Code updates pushed to your upstream can easily be rolled out to all downstream sites, and they're a perfect way for agencies with verticals they target to reduce duplicate work across all their sites. All of the support requests for the organization are aggregated under the single support view. You may have multiple ways of interacting with support, via tickets, chat, or emergency paging. We've also compiled some great information for agencies under the Partner tab. This section contains a link to the Partner portal where we've collected client-facing materials, case studies, and other great information for your agency. This has been an overview of the Pantheon for Agencies dashboard where you can interact with all the sites in a more robust way, as well as manage your users, role, and communicate better with support as a whole team.